Arkansas abortion ban, which went into effect on Friday, defines an unborn child as starting at fertilization. The law makes no mention of IVF, but Moutos immediately wondered, could his patients' frozen embryos be defined as unborn children under the law? Could discarding those embryos be considered an abortion? I don't know whether the people who wrote this law fully understood the downstream effects of it, he said. But other states have not yet clarified how far their abortion bans extend, and abortion laws don't generally address the issue of frozen embryos directly. So some lawyers and fertility clinics aren't convinced that the new restrictions will leave the IVF process untouched. What happens to IVF pre-implantation embryos in the freezers? Can couples, patients decide to discard them or not, said Susan Crocken, a legal scholar at Georgetown's O'Neill Institute for National and Global Health Law. The practice of IVF involves combining sperm and eggs to create embryos in a lab, then implanting one or more of those embryos in a person's uterus. Patients often choose to store additional frozen embryos for future IVF cycles. Some people rely on IVF as a solution to fertility challenges, while others use it to avoid passing on a genetic disorder, since embryos can be tested before implantation. Most existing or expected state abortion bans refer specifically to ending a pregnancy, Crocken said, so they shouldn't apply to IVF. But some lawyers are concerned nonetheless about personhood laws that treat a fertilized egg as a human being. Or in some cases, patients who don't intend to store or use an embryo might be forced to relinquish control over it to a doctor or clinic, as is already the case under Louisiana law. North Dakota's Attorney General office referred NBC News to a letter enforcing the state's ban but declined to comment further. In Idaho, the Attorney General's office said it will be up to individual prosecutors in each of the state's 44 counties to decide how to enforce its abortion ban, which is set to go into effect in less than 30 days. Questions about shipping and storing embryos. Ozonian, CEO of Global Premier Fertility, a company that manages fertility clinics, said that in states where abortion is outlawed, some clinics are considering moving embryos to places where they can discard them without legal questions. Does the clinic pay for it? All those questions are trying to be figured out with a lot of lawyers, business people and doctors, he said. In North and South Dakota, the Sanford Health Medical System said it has enlisted its ethics committee to help IVF providers decide what's next. One way to steer clear of legal questions around abortion bans and IVF would be to freeze sperm and eggs rather than embryos. But that would be far less efficient and less likely to result in pregnancy, Moutos said. For now, he added, he feels reassured by the statement from the Arkansas Attorney General's office, but he's still telling patients to hold off on discarding embryos until he consults legal experts. If abortion bans do affect IVF, it could become even more costly if abortion laws do turn out to limit the practice of discarding embryos, Ozonian said. IVF could get more expensive, since clinics or patients might have to pay for long-term embryo storage. IVF treatment already costs $19,000 on average, according to a 2014 study. Companies may also be less inclined to cover the costs of IVF for employees as a benefit if they fear legal repercussions or significantly higher costs. That's not to mention the physical and emotional toll of egg extraction, implantation, and other parts of the IVF process on people going through it. So it's adding this huge stress component that wasn't present before. Ozonian said IVF clinics that partner with his company, most of which are in California, have already heard some prospective patients say they're afraid to now go through treatment, given some of those legislation changes. And for everything we're hearing from anti-abortion advocates, there's a tremendous interest in pushing the law much further. In their dissenting opinion on Friday, Supreme Court Justices Stephen Breyer, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan mentioned this possibility, writing that the court may face Q. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more breaking news.